what's going on, everybody? It's Zach here with my good friend Jay. He's joining us for another video today. The date is February 18th, 2025, and I've got dire news. The ice apocalypse is upon us. There is a pretty gnarly winter storm rolling through right now down here in Texas, so you know we're not used to the ice and the snow. So we're getting ready. There was already some power outages nearby in the neighborhood, so hopefully that doesn't interrupt our video here. But hope everyone's doing well out there. We've got another leg session for you. This is the second week of our fat loss mesocycle that we started, and I'm feeling pretty good. How you feeling, man?
Yeah, definitely feeling good.
Yeah. Still feeling. You got some sore spots from the last three, right?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I mean, it's nice having that rest day yesterday to kind of finally recover a bit. So
yeah, and we've been. I think we've been a little bit better about getting to bed at earlier times too. When you guys, I'm sure you guys know how it is when you're hanging out with friends and family and stuff. You just want to stay up all night and hang out and chat. But when you're trying to make the gains and get stronger, you should at least shoot for 6 to 8 hours of sleep. But before we waffle on anymore, let's talk about marchers.
All the marchers of hypertrophy.
Let's talk about the marchers of hypertrophy. They march so hard that their legs get huge, So our last session was the pull day, and let's see. Actually, okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of bicep soreness. It's very slight, maybe like a 2 out of 10. And then upper back and lats are pretty much, maybe upper back is a little bit sore, maybe like a 1 or 2 out of 10, but I'm pretty much fully recovered. So I'll be adding some more volume onto my pull day. What about you? How you feeling?
I'd say probably my biceps are a little bit sore, a little bit of chest, a little bit of lats, and then stuff from today is already starting to kick a little bit.
So I guess we can talk about today. Let's see.
So.
Quads. I mean, it's interesting. The sumo deadlifts, like when I do high bar back squat, I can usually feel my quads getting sore like that same day. The same day I can, like, it's already starting to get sore. But with these ones, everything just feels perturbed and disturbed.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, everything just feels a little bit off. Like, it just doesn't feel right. Like lifting the legs up with the hip flexors feels just a little slow, and kind of like everything just feels a little bit weaker. Is that kind of how you're feeling?
Yeah. Especially when I go to sit down and stuff, it feels like it shoots down faster. I'm like, okay, I gotta still keep my muscles engaged here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So again, these sumo deadlifts are so good for glute exercise, especially this session. I really felt like I was starting to lock the exercise in, like it was really starting to become stimulative for me, like feeling a lot more burn, less like knee clicking and popping and stuff, starting to really figure out where my feet want to be. What about you? Are you feeling a little more solid in the movement now?
Yeah, for these, they're feeling good for me, and now seeing the form a little bit more too, it actually looks pretty good. Like, I feel like it was locked in, nothing looks too out of place.
I agree. The form looks excellent on those. Here, we'll review some of mine, and then you should have at least one more set after this we can look at. So let's see here. So dropping down a little fast out of the reversal. I do like the way that my hamstrings are kind of hanging off my leg there, though. I like to see that. That's what I like to see. And then that's what I was talking about with the horse hips too. You gotta, like, if you really train your glutes and your hip flexors and stuff, and this is a great exercise for it. You get, like, especially when you're doing a movement like this, if you guys can see on the outside of my hip, it looks like there's like a little there's just a little bit there at the crease of the hip that I wish I could remember what the actual anatomical name of that muscle is, but it gives the appearance of, like, when you look at the horse's hind legs, their hip, how it has that big muscle on the top. That's what I'm talking about with the horse hips. That's what I want. I'm trying to get some horse hips, so happy to see that. The form, I mean, it looks good. It looked like I was going a little fast on the first few reps, but I'm kind of doing what I
That's
always
nice.
do here. Yeah. What like I usually start off a little quick. Yeah, caught my knee on that
It
one.
looks like you're.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm always trying to scrape the skin off my
gosh.
legs.
Yeah.
It's terrible. That's why I got those special Batman socks on. Hey, hit like and put a comment down below if you like the Batman socks. I'll bring them back again. God. But, yeah, no, super good glute exercise. And like I was saying with the form here, I'm doing what I always do, where that first half going down is pretty quick, and then I slow it down on the stretch. And yeah, it looks like you're doing pretty much the same thing there. Nice and slow on the way down. Oh, maybe a little quick on that
Yeah,
one.
that one was a little quick.
Yeah, but
I wonder if I realized it or not and go slower.
Oh yeah, that was slow at the stretch. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and if you guys look, it's kind of crazy. It doesn't, like, watching us do this exercise, it doesn't look that crazy. But look how close the hands are to the top of the feet.
Yeah.
We're essentially like squatting fully down and pulling that load up from the top of our feet, basically.
Yeah.
Using almost entirely glutes, hamstrings, hips, and then of course our back is staying rigid and stabilizing us so that we can stand up with it and not crumple. But yeah, super good glute exercise. Really starting to lock them in. And the good thing about that, once you start really getting locked in on exercise, is your SFR, stimulus to fatigue ratio. It starts to get better and better as you get better at the technique, because you don't dump as much energy into unnecessary movements or just improper form. A lot of times you can waste a lot of energy moving through planes that you don't need to move through, essentially, to do whatever you're trying to do. In this case, stimulate hypertrophy in our mostly posterior chain. But I'll say, we were talking a little bit earlier, I definitely felt it on my quads more today.
Yeah. I think for me too, it was pretty quad heavy.
Oh yeah,
I mean, still glutes too, but yeah, was feeling a little bit more in quads.
Yeah, I think we had both agreed that it seems like whenever I'm going through movement, right about there.
Yeah.
Like once it gets over your knee,
that
that lockout, that's when like the quads are already they're like stretching, and then they start burning at that last part. So yeah, really nice. And then you can see I'm using the Versa grips to just take the upper body and the grip out of the equation entirely. So super great exercise, guys. I would highly recommend that one. Now, looking at our performance here, I added a set, so we'll see how I feel tomorrow adding that set. So this is me going into the third one here. Jay went ahead and kept the same volume because his legs were pretty...
Yeah, I was really good with the two. I was like, probably shouldn't push it too hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Past the limits there.
Yeah, so he stuck with the two, and I think you ended up adding a little more weight because you felt a little stronger in the form, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was I think maybe up like 10 pounds or so.
Yeah.
Which 5 cents.
Nice little increase there. So technically the intensity went up for him rather than volume, so that's a good sign that you're figuring things out. And then for me, I got 11 and 9 on the first and second set last session. On this one, 11, 9, and then 7, which pretty much tracks. I usually lose about 2 reps. With some things like really high rep sets, you could lose like 3 to 5 just because the metabolite accumulation becomes so unbearable. It's hard to keep doing reps. But yeah, good performance there on those. Pretty happy with it. So we're moving on here.
This is essentially my catching snowflakes time.
Yes, lean back. You should have stuck your tongue out too. Get the snowflakes. No, it's totally understandable. Because one of the big things I'm always harping on is the stretch, and you're definitely getting a stretch here. You've got some that would be spinal flexion going on, which we talked about during the lift. I was kind of cueing like crunching down a little bit, keeping the abs crunched down, and then that way like your core and everything is tight, hip flexors are like engaged, and then of course you're pushing through the top of your foot there on the bottom, and then that way when you start going down, you don't accidentally stretch and hypertrophy like abs and all that stuff. You're stretching and hypertrophying your quads. Since this is
Yeah.
a quad exercise, that would be the only reason I gave that cue. Otherwise, this is a perfectly fine form for getting stronger abs and stuff like that. Like if you were looking to develop abs, hip flexors, and quads at once, this would be a pretty good way to do it, I think. How are these feeling for you? Is there any knee pain, ankle pain, anything like
no,
that?
they're pretty comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just trying to lock down that form. I
Yeah.
think even in the other ones, I still couldn't quite lock it down. So we'll see. Maybe rewatching these if it'll help a bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's me saying like,
Yeah.
crunch down a little bit. Yeah, and oh man, like you guys probably watching this, these look really uncomfortable. And that, honestly, at first, actually no, even the first time I did them, I was a little scared because it especially when you start going back, it feels like
Yeah.
your ligaments are all just gonna like pop out. Like I don't know. I'm trying to think of that like in cartoons when there's a car crash and all the springs and shit go flying out. That's how my knees felt when I did these at first, but
Kneecap just pops off.
no, it stayed on. It was great. So yeah, I mean, it looks really uncomfortable, and it might be, but if you do something like get you some heavy bands or some way to make the exercise easier, put that towel down to so that you're not crunching your ankles into the ground when you do it. Just these little adjustments, you can make it a lot more easy to make the movement about stimulating the quad muscles rather than being distracted with the little pains here and there. I mean, it's super manly to do these naked, while it's raining and
Really?
people are throwing rocks at you. That's like the most manly way to do it, but it's distracting from the hypertrophy gains.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
hard to focus too sometimes.
Yeah. Yes. So I quit doing them like that. I was like, it's not working. I wouldn't feel markers of hypertrophy stimulus after doing it that way. It wasn't there for me. So, all right, let's see. How about performance on these bad boys? I think I gained a rep. Yeah, I gained a rep on both sets, 1 and 2. So I went from 13 and 11 to 14 and 12. And I would basically just chalk that up to something I've talked about before, which is that your performance could change, just like your weight can fluctuate like 5% or so each day. You might be a rep stronger one morning, maybe, there's a myriad of different factors that can work into that, but always happy to see more reps, and it felt nice and my quads felt nice and torched at the end, so pretty happy with those guys. What about you? How were you feeling after these 2 sets?
Oh yeah, my quads are pretty
Yeah.
pretty good after that.
Yeah. We each let out a nice satisfying groan at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah.
set. Like, oh
Yeah,
god, that's terrible.
It's like these are destroying me in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does look like you queued up that. Yeah, you're definitely
A little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, not
No.
quite there.
Yeah, not quite there, but
Yeah.
much more or much less flexion here.
Yeah.
Did you, whenever you did that, did you feel more of a stretch on the quads?
I think I was focusing. I mean, I probably did, but I think I was focusing so much at that time on doing that portion. But it wasn't until I got up then I really felt it in my quads. Where I was like, wow,
Okay.
it was so difficult to get up.
Yeah.
I think I needed to grab one of the railings at first.
Yeah, I usually grab those little
The
weight
weight supports,
pins. Yeah, I'll
yeah.
just chill on those for a
Yeah.
second and then stand up. Yeah, those are absolutely brutal. I'm trying to think. That reminded me of something. What was it? There was something we had talked about. Oh man, with how cues can be distracting sometimes. Remember I was saying it was the chest supported dumbbell rows, because I had given you a couple cues just to help you out, and then of course tell you about the setup and everything.
Yeah.
But I try not to bombard people with trying to perfect their form the first time they do it, because it's the first time they're doing it. You really can't expect them to take all that information, and so it makes sense actually that you would find that cue of crunching down being a little distracting.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the stimulus.
But I'm sure once it kind of locks in though, then it's I'll be able to just strictly focus on the quads.
Yeah,
Doing it. So,
yeah. That would be.
But I do like that you do piece it in, gradually throughout there.
Yeah.
So it's not a whole bunch at once, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to freaking stress people out. Be like, okay, do this, and then like do it, and they're like, no, but do this too. And they're like, oh god, and it's like, yeah, put right hand on red and left hand on green. They're like, damn, dude, you got me in a pretzel. I can't do nothing now. Yeah, so I try not to overstimulate with the cues there, but yeah, hopefully, I don't know, will you be with me on this next one? Today's Tuesday. Probably not. Yeah, so the next one will be a little while from now, but yeah, if you end up doing these on your own or something, you could incorporate that. But let's see, how am I doing on these guys? Pretty good depth. Oh. One right. Well, yeah. Okay, great. That was excellent. And then we got, I was talking about in our last leg session, I might put goblet squats in. But after the 3 sets of sumo deadlifts, I was
so glad you didn't.
Yeah, I was like, maybe all right. Yeah. Maybe I won't do that. And then we opted to use the towel to get some more heel elevation rather than going outside because it was like 28 degrees and it was raining. Or it might have been a little warmer, maybe like 30, 32, something like that. But just miserable out there, and I didn't want to get all wet, so we went ahead and did them inside here. Body weight squats, how did we do on those? Let's see, 14 and 12 today, and 14 and 12 last time. So, yep, tracking very nicely. And then I keep realizing every time I make one of these leg day videos that I'm not doing the calf raises, which is a problem. I went from doing it 4 times a week to none at all. I'm like, shoot. And it's because I'm just so beat up after leg day, man. I don't want to go back out there 6 hours later and do. Yeah. And not like, honestly, it doesn't feel like I'm stimulating them as much as it should doing like 3 sets of calf raises. And it's probably just because there's so much fatigue from that morning session. So I think my strategy is going to be tomorrow at the beginning of the push session, I'll do calf raises. And then on my rest day, I'll do calf raises. Maybe I'll do them like right before I hop on the stationary bike, or it'd probably be better to do it after. Actually, yeah, because then they'll be nice and warm from doing the cycling, and then I can just go right into the calf raises. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I'll do that, and maybe, if that's too much, especially being hypocaloric, I might just do them on the push day. So we'll see about that, but yeah, body weight squats here to round it out and finish it off. And I was, see, you're a little shaky in there. Yeah, that was. I was definitely feeling a little shaky. You did it quick, bro. Yeah. You're like, whoa. That's how you know. Yeah, bro. For real. That is one thing. I've heard people kind of poo-poo on, like when people make faces when they're lifting. I'm like, bro, if you're not, like, grimacing, if you're not visibly uncomfortable, are you really close to failure? Probably not, because it hurts, man. When you're doing a set of body weight squats after doing deadlifts and a difficult body weight exercise.
That one I almost dropped on.
Did you?
Yeah. The whole portion just chunked down.
You're like, all right. Oh yeah, I think I might have been like, slow down. Yeah. Slow down. You're like, you bastard. No, good. Yeah. Yeah, these are great finisher on this one. So
it is a lot though. After all the other ones, it's way more than it looks like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it seems so easy, but after you do all of that, it's like, bro, these feel weighted. And it's probably why that whenever I try to do barbell squats, it was like, nope, not doing that. That's way too much. So yeah, paying attention to those cues and the things. Oh hell yeah, bro! Got the capes in the back, bro. That's goofy as hell. Hey, this is a true treat right here, man. This is some deluxe content for you guys. Oh boy, yeah. So I think that's all we got for the video. Unless you got anything, man.
I think that's it. I think that's a pretty good way to wrap it up.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the push day, and I hope you have a good one.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
See ya.